Hi, how are you today? So, yesterday I talked about uh, the desensitization of mental health, and I used Dr. Phil and a show that he had put on, and I had done that uh, before this shooting mess happened. But what I want to say is that uh, we need to do something, okay? And what got me is I saw a young man uh, that went to that school in Florida, and he was saying that something has to be done. Thoughts and prayers are not enough, and who doesn't agree with that? I feel, my heart goes out to the victims and everything. And there are several things that I feel that can be done, or what is going to have to be done. Because as we know, nothing has been done. Okay? And what I would say is from what I think, what has to happen right now is the victims of these shootings, the parents who have lost their children, and all of that. What has to happen is that they're going to have to come together, get a good lawyer, and they're going to have to sue, bring an action at law, okay, against the United States, against the NRA, and whoever else that they have to. Okay, that's what's going to have to be done. And then who knows, it might have to go all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States of America. Okay, that's what I see for one that needs to take place, an action at law. Okay, because when we look at, now, like I said, I'm just a regular person, okay? But when we look at the Constitution, and we know that the preamble, the Constitution was written so that everyone can has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Okay, but when you take that Second Amendment and you just hang on to that, I can have my guns, I can do this and that and whatever. Okay. And, the Constitution was made so that there is a balance, okay? So no part of the Constitution was written to infringe upon the rights of any citizen, okay? So if you're taking this Second Amendment and you're using it with such force and power that it affects my right to life, liberty, and to the pursuit of happiness, then something has to change. Okay, and it's not the Constitution. So based on that, that what needs to take place is an action at law. Okay, and if the lawmakers, people in Congress and the Senate and in the government, if they are not doing what they're supposed to do, then yes, that's the one thing that I would say that needs to happen. That the victims of all of these shootings in the United States, they need to come together and they need to go ahead and pursue an action at law against the United States, against the NRA, any entity or organization that plays a part in this tragedy. Okay, that's one thing that I would say. And then on the other hand as well, in order to get over this love hump and everything, what we also need to do is, on a national level, we need to come up with a protocol for children in schools, in the way of, with bullying. And you may not know me or some of the things that I've done or whatever, but I did start a love and sustainability initiative that had to do with helping children that are being bullied. And I put out some videos about what they can do, what will help them, the things that their parents can do as well. But what I see, just off the top of my head, is this. First of all, okay, we definitely need to make it easy and make it known to children that they can report these bullying incidents. Okay, that needs to be free and clear, that they are aware of that. And see, the thing is with school, first of all, okay, we as parents, yes, we do everything that we can do, but when we look at the time that goes into excuse me, being in school, okay, that's where our kids are at for the most part. Okay, let's see, they have to be in school 8 hours, and then preparing in the morning to go to school, preparing at night, then they have to get 8 hours of sleep, and so basically the time that they have at home with their parents is like this much. Okay, so yes, it is part of the responsibility of us to have something in place in the school system. So this is what I would say, okay? When it comes to the school and having a national protocol, okay, with this bullying thing, is that children are able to report the bullying, okay? And then once that report is made, of course, the parents are contacted, and then there should be some kind of a mandatory evaluation. Okay, an evaluation for the bully and for the person being bullied. Okay, and if we do that, then we can come to a place where, if there are any things that need to be worked out, that then they can be worked out. Maybe the bully has some type of issues going on, emotional issues, or whatever the problem may be. Okay, so by having them evaluated, we can get to the core of that. And then for the victim of the bullying, they may have residual effects from the bullying, and so then you can get to the core of that as well. And so in this way, mental health issues can be addressed. Because the truth is, there's a lot of desensitization, which I spoke about in my previous video, and how interesting, I made that video a few hours or so before the shooting incident. So I'm floored by what's happening. But those are the things that we need to look at, because from my observation, like, I'm not a teacher, I'm not a psychologist, I'm none of that. Okay. But what I notice is that it seems to me that when with boys and girls, when they're being bullied, girls seem more likely to commit suicide, and maybe they may internalize the hurt and pain that they feel from being bullied. Whereas it seems that boys will act externally, act outside of themselves, and, kill people. Okay, so, by having a national protocol on what to do in our schools, that's going to help a lot. It's going to get to, just like, well, I really don't want to talk about the person, but if we can do something like that, where there is an evaluation that takes place and some type of counseling that goes along with that evaluation, I believe we could work out a lot of things in our schools. Okay. And, but as far as doing things about guns and making these gun laws and, the NRA or whoever, they're hanging on to their Second Amendment. Okay. We have to find the balance. Okay. And the only way to do that, most likely, is an action at law. Okay, this thing has to go to the courts, and it may have to go all the way to the Supreme Court so that we can find something, because something can be done. So why isn't it being done? Okay, these lawmakers, they can put things on the table, and I don't know if they're doing it or not. It doesn't look like they are, because nothing has changed. But because when we look at it with our children, of course, their mental health should be important, and it comes into question. Okay, adults too, but for our children, when they look at the way that the things going on in the world, okay, they're not excited. It doesn't make them happy, okay? Because it doesn't make us as adults happy, okay? So all of these things affect them when they hear and they know that they have parents that are working, and they're not even making a living wage. How do you think that makes them feel? I mean, it's nice if you have money and you're rich, your kids are rich, okay, that may, lessen the blow to them, because they don't have to worry about all of this other stuff, because they have money, they're living in a mansion or whatever it is, okay? That's nice if you have it like that. That might lessen the blow, okay, to them, but it doesn't take it away. But we're happy for you. But for the ones that aren't, to know that your family, your people are working hard and not making a living wage, when they know that their parents or family can't get health care. Okay, and so what does that mean? That means that then you might have a parent that may die prematurely because they couldn't get the health care that they needed. Okay, or to know that your family isn't rich, so going to college, okay, that means that you're going to have to incur all of this student debt just to try and get to where you want to go. So all of these things have an effect on our children, whether they say it does or not, because it's having an effect on adults. And I can say that because it seems like recently, and it could be that maybe the news is covering certain stories more. Okay, maybe it's been happening all along, but I can say that in since the beginning of the year, how many cases have I heard of parents killing their children? Okay, these 3, 4, and 5 year olds. You know, it seems like, wow, what is going on? You know, these parents, you know, people are getting so frustrated that they don't know what to do. So, you know, that's why in fact, I believe that my book, The Hypothesis of Getting Over the Love Hump, 99 Plus Ways, would be also a good book for the schools, for teachers, because it takes the sensitive route. Okay, yes, I talk about in my book about being sensitive to your emotions and your feelings and how you can help yourself when dealing with the challenges of life, the hardships of life, because, you know, all of that affects our emotions and our mental state. So I just want to see, you know, that we are not desensitizing the state of the mental health of people. Okay, so anyway, I hope you enjoy this video and pass it on. Oh, wait a minute. And another thing I want to say, just to speak to how people look at things. Now, with my videos, I can tell you this. I can tell you that in doing so, in my little Facebook group, or whatever, community, whatever you want to call it, not one person ever shared any of my videos or anything. They didn't even comment on it. And that's okay. Because what I saw was that, you know, they say if you put stuff out in the universe, hey, there it is. Okay, so what I saw was that people, I began to hear more, you know, people were telling their stories about how they were being bullied and you know, encouraging people that are being bullied to, you know, take heart, and it's going to be okay, and you're going to get through it. Okay, and so, you know, so hopefully in the same way, we want to pay attention. We want to pay attention to our children and what they're going through in school. Now, there's never an excuse for doing the wrong thing, but you do have to consider the things that play a part in that. So with bullying, with the mental health of our children, what happened yesterday in Florida at that high school, where 17 people were killed, and then so many more were injured. That speaks to the importance and the necessity for us to take our children seriously, to care for them, and to do something about this problem. And you know, this desensitization that has occurred throughout our, you know, culture and throughout our society really needs to stop. And as adults, we need to find those ways to be more sensitive. And that's really what it's about, being sensitive to other people and their feelings and their emotions. So anyway, I hope that this will encourage you to, you know, stand up, to get over that love hump with the respect, dignity, and the grace that you deserve. All right? So you take care and have a great day.